It was a calm day in the South Atlantic Ocean when we made our approach to Port Stanley Bay in the Falkland Islands. Our ship was anchored offshore and a tender service was established to ferry cruise passengers and crew ashore. My excursion began when I stepped inside a four-wheel drive vehicle and set out on a 50-mile journey to Volunteer Point Sanctuary, home to a lively colony of over 1,000 king penguins. It was quite a scenic sight along the way. In the open countryside, there was an abundance of rocks and stone runs, natural formations that are the result of erosion caused by freeze-thawing during the last ice age.
3 meters deep of stone. And over millions of years, it's moving all the time.
Oh, really?
With gravity.
The landscape was amazing, although not a single tree standing around. And then we passed through Port Louis, the site of the first settlement in the islands, before reaching the Johnson's Harbor Farm, where we stopped for a restroom break and to stretch out a bit. Our journey continued over soft and boggy ground covered in grass and low-lying little D shrubs. It was a challenging and bumpy ride experience for a caravan of four-wheelers, going through paths that are sometimes not clear if we were on the right tracks. This is like a safari, huh? You're good.
Can get quite interesting.
That's definitely why you need to travel in a group, I guess.
Yeah.
We left it up to Sam, our local guide, to follow the other groups and maneuver through some downhill or uphill trails. Sometimes it felt like the rides in an adventure theme park, but this one is for real. Sliding down.
It's stuck, isn't it?
Can't get up. These,
there we go. Car park problem again.
When we finally arrived at Volunteer Point, we parked together with the other groups of wildlife adventurers, but quite far from the area of our point of interest, the penguins. We had to walk to where they were, and we were on our own for an hour and a half to observe and photograph thousands of them at their natural habitat. These are the king penguins, the second largest species of penguin. Smaller but somewhat similar in appearance to the emperor penguin and are easily distinguished from the other species by their size, taller frame and distinctive colorful markings. They stand at 28 to 39 inches tall and weighs from 21 to 40 pounds. An adult one has a solid bright orange cheek pads. The penguin chicks have dark brown plumage that looks so different from the adults. And once molted of its juvenile plumage, they resemble the adults. King penguins are serially monogamous. They mate with only one mate per season, working with their mate to hatch the egg and care for the chick. The mating season begins with the return of the penguins to solid ground, coming in from the hunting grounds of the sea. And they do make sounds. Chicks make sounds that are identified and answered by their parents. In the same way, couples find each other within the crowded and noisy colonies. Here at Volunteer Point, the penguins were gathering and walking around in an area designated for them, which was marked around by small rocks. They can walk in or out, or to and from the area. We were able to get very close and watch and listen to them, while we were also being watched by the guides who are dispersed everywhere to make sure no one disturbs the penguins. Penguins have no problem sharing territory with other species of penguins, but they don't interact with them. About 100 yards away was a designated area for Gentoo penguins. They are the third largest species of penguin after the emperor penguin and the king penguin, and are the fastest underwater swimmers of all penguins. Their nests are usually made from a roughly circular pile of stones, but it was amusing to watch this one collect hardened soil to make one. Two eggs are laid and the chicks remain in the nest for around 30 days before joining other chicks in the colony. These penguins seem to be tolerant of tourists and are not alarmed by their presence, as long as they do not enter the colony. And the biggest highlight was watching these amazing creatures walk across the field. We also observed a few other animals roaming the area, including some sheep and wild geese, which really didn't get much attention during our visit. When our time was up, we returned to our vehicle, dig through our boxed lunch of sandwich, and got ready for another hour of off-road journey and rough ride back to Port Stanley. Overall, this tour turned out to be an amazing experience and was one of the best excursions I had on my trip, and so worth it to see all of the penguins.
Where's the battlefield? East or west?
Pardon?
The battlefield.
Oh, here. Yeah.
Right here?
Just over in those hills over there.
Oh, okay.
At some point along the way, we passed several key battlefield sites from the 1982 Falkland War, including the wreckage of an Argentine helicopter. At the port, I found I had a little more time to capture some sceneries and last-minute window shopping before falling in line to board a tender boat back for embarkation to our ship anchored offshore and waiting for us.